There we go.
Uh, tu- 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 tu. So it should be right by her name, right?
Click the three dots
Oh,
like you would.
more. Okay, spotlight video.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there we
Hey,
go.
there she is.
I just usually don't like to see that much of myself.
So you'll probably be like switching
Close
and sharing
your
your
eyes.
screen, right?
I will be.
All right, so I know we're 5 minutes. We've got 5 more minutes. So how many of you guys have been to one of Rhonda's classes earlier today?
I have.
So I wish there was, is there a raise your hand on Zoom?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
We're gonna give, so let's see how many people, in a few minutes, I'm gonna mute everyone. So we're gonna ask that, so because we have such a packed agenda today, tonight, we're asking that you guys hold your questions until the end. But if you do have, if you have questions, we have a chat that you can click on. You guys have probably been using that all day today. So you can go ahead and just enter your question, and then we'll hold questions until the end. And then I will unmute everyone. And so I'm just gonna give it another minute or two for others to join. So I was looking to see how many people we have in here.
And so far.
21, it looks like.
Only a few hardy souls are not,
Yes.
tucked up in their recliner chair with
Yeah.
their cat.
It's not the midnight session, right? How late have we gone in the past, Rhonda?
Well, we usually have a night, what we call a night owl session when we do the
Yeah.
live conference. And it's usually pretty spare by then. People are ready to go home.
Yeah.
Today is not as tiring as a
Yeah.
regular conference, but it's still a long haul. Mentally,
Oh, yeah.
tired.
For sitting at your computer, all that time, that can be tiring.
It's a lot of information. I've heard people say writers' conferences are like drinking from a fire hose, and that's about the truth of it.
Yes. So we're going to learn about your toolbox in just a minute here. So just give it another minute. So yeah, you guys, this is the Writer's Toolbox, just a quick overview of the class. So you're going to learn about low cost and free tools to streamline your writing. So to go into some more details about it, so Rhonda's going to present some very valuable tools that she has found over the years, including newsletters, blogs, websites, books, many of which are free or low cost. And she has found that when you stuff your toolbox with high quality implements, your writer's construction job is much easier. So I love that little write-up. You got a little giraffe back there?
Giraffe with great big glasses. That's from my best friend. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, I love that.
A little humor for the office today.
Great. So if you guys have not heard Rhonda's bio or have not read through it, Rhonda is an author, pastor's wife, and a speaker with much experience with website design and typesetting. She's also our tireless web guru for the conference. So you've done a great job, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Throughout this whole conference. You're quite amazing. She's also an award-winning writer with published works in Chicken Soup for the Soul and Spark Magazine. And last year, she was named Writer of the Year by Serious Writer. And she was also a semifinalist this year. Congratulations, Rhonda, for the Genesis contest run by ACFW. That was awesome.
Kim, not to brag, but I just found out that I am a finalist. They just announced that over this past weekend. So
that's awesome.
I'm a finalist there, and guess what? I had 24 hours to revise my entry for the finals. And guess when that? No, 48 hours. And guess when that was? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 48.
Before
hours.
the conference?
This past week, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about bad timing. But we got her done, and Greg and Hallie Bridgman was good to help me with the website and everything going on. But you know how it is. When it rains, it pours.
Right. Yeah, she is tireless, guys, and very talented. So the big question is, when are we going to get to read your first historical romance novel? That.
I tell you, it is finished,
Mhm.
except for a few more rounds of self-editing. I've had a professional editor look at it. And just as soon as I get an agent and a contract, I will let you know. I'm
Right.
not sure when yet. So I'm just hopeful and waiting on God. You know, the writing business, a lot about it is hurry up and wait.
Mm.
You know, they move so slowly, and an editor says, "Send it to me," and you send
Yeah.
it, and then you hear crickets for months.
Nothing.
But they're such busy
Oh.
people, and I'm
Yeah.
just learning that is the rhythm of this business.
Mm.
So, you know, I would love to tell you when it's coming out, and when I have a release
Yeah.
date, believe me, everybody on the planet will know because I'm
Great.
doing social media. Okay.
Great. So if you want to know anything else about Rhonda, like add it in the chat and we'll try to get to it at the end. Last question for you, Rhonda. How many writers conferences have you attended or taught at?
I have taught at Kentucky, and I've also taught at the Mid-South Christian Writers Conference. I would say for the last 3 years I've been teaching, and my philosophy is there are probably people watching this chat who could teach us all something.
Mm.
And I'm going to say right now, if you have a great resource and it's not on my handout, just type it in the chat because I will be checking it out as
Right.
well. But I started attending writers conferences 5 years ago, or no, it's probably more like 7 years. I went to the Kentucky Christian Writers Conference on a scholarship because I was in some real financial hardship, and what a tremendous answer to prayer that was, and getting connected with the wonderful folks at Kentucky. I tell you, I've been to Kentucky, I've been to Mid-South, I've been to the Blue Ridge Mountains conference. I'm going to attend the ACFW conference this year. You meet wonderful people everywhere you go, but I have to say, my heart is right here in Kentucky.
Oh, that's very sweet. What a great lead-in. So I think I'm going to mute everyone, then I'll unmute you, Rhonda. Okay.
Okay, I stay.
Rhonda.
I was going to say my husband
there we go.
declares, he says I don't have a mute button. He wants it installed, but I don't really have one. I go kind of full out 90 mile an hour. Well, we're going to jump right in because I know you guys are like me. You're just all excited, right?
Yes.
Your eyes aren't drooping. Your backside isn't tired. You're just ready to go. And one of the things I will say is I talk fast because I have a lot to get done. I'm really excited that this is being recorded because I know it'll be a benefit to you. I will say, if you have not done so yet, please, please download the handout for this course. I've done it myself. It's almost all blue, which means it's hyperlinks. And when you open a Word document or a PDF, you know, you can just click on it and there you go. You don't even have to type the address into your browser when it's hyperlinked like that. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started. The purpose behind this course, and I've taught this course before, a lot of my teaching is done thus far on a group called Writers Chat. And that's the first resource I want to tell you, and it is not on your Toolbox list. Through the Serious Writer crew, I see some of my Writers Chat buddies here. Every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock, live on Zoom, you can join their Facebook group called Writers Chat Facebook group and answer a question. They'll let you in, but I watch every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to see just all kinds of great training. And I began to think, well, you know, I can answer some of these questions and I have something to offer. And I believe all of us as writers, we have something to offer to one another. And one of the things I like about being a writer is there is a community. So the community of people is just amazing. And I have met some of the most amazing people, and they're always helpful. So I have some expertise with websites. I've been building websites for more than 15 years. I will say I am self-taught, and I can spell Google, Google, and you can learn a lot if you can spell Google. Because what I do is, if I don't know the answer to a question, I find the answer to the question, and I find it by searching online. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint, share my screen, pull up my PowerPoint, and I'm going to take you on my browser to visit some of these sites that I'm going to recommend to you. So here we go. And I'm going to close the chat just because I have to concentrate and see what I'm doing. So I hope everybody can see my PowerPoint there. My very cool graphic with the tools right on the computer keyboard. I hope everybody can see that. If you can't see the entire thing, I urge you on your Zoom window, there's a 100% view at the top of your Zoom window. If you do that, you should see everything that I'm showing you. So let's talk about the Writer's Toolbox. The very first thing, I don't know about you, I love to read, but it's even more fun sometimes to just listen. And so the first tool I'm going to tell you about is, I'm going to start with our online tools. And the first online tool, I have to say, seriously, I recommend anything from Serious Writer. And I hope some of my Serious Writer buddies are here in the workshop with me. But I have never found a clunker. And anything I've done, a lot of what they do is free. They have a free Facebook group that you can join. They also have a Serious Writer Academy where you can get low-cost instruction on a lot of things. And they also have a Serious Writer Club. And I am a club member myself. I have an affiliate link. I will tell you, if you want to email me, the best place for me right now, it's info@dragomirgroup.com. And if one of you wonderful ladies could type that into the chat, I would appreciate that. I also have, I have just learned so much from the Serious Writer folks, and I've been to their Ohio Writers Conference several times. I have spent a bundle of money on conferences, and I have never been disappointed, and especially with Serious Writer. So go to seriouswriter.com. Now I will tell you, when I visited their website 2 days ago, checking all of my links, because I'm so thorough, their website is down. So it's under construction. It said 5 days, so it might be next week before you can really get in. But anything you can learn. They have a wonderful newsletter, great blog entries. Everybody there is fabulous. So let's talk, though, about podcasts. I write so much. Sometimes it's just refreshing to sit down and listen, right? And I want to recommend to you some podcasts. There's a man named Thomas Umstattd, and I suppose that's German. I've never heard him say his last name, but he has, there's a link in your handout to his podcast. He has several. I especially recommend his Christian publishing show. There's almost always something there that I need to listen to that. I don't always get to, but he is really on the nose for what kinds of questions people are asking and looking for answers to. So, and he is affiliated some with the Steve Lobby Agency, and has a lot of Steve Lobby Agency guests. And you would enjoy Thomas's show, the Christian Publishing Show. He's also really fun. Here's another really entertaining guy. His name is Cody Moorhead, and he is with Serious Writer Incorporated. He has a podcast called Brew and Ink, and that's like coffee and pens. Okay, it's not the brew like ale or something like that. But I enjoy Cody. He is an expert on branding and marketing. Really smart guy, has great guests, and very humorous, good to listen to. There's also a podcast by CJ and Shelley. I'm not sure how you say it, but I will say Hits or Heights, called Kingdom Writers. And several of their podcasts have really been appealing. And if you enjoy podcasts, there's a link on my handout to the Steve Lobby Agency, to their blog, and other podcasts, and it's there in your handout. And I checked out several of the podcasts that were on that link. They're all excellent. So podcast, listen and take in on the podcast. Now, some other online tools that you can find, it's interesting to me. I'm enjoying the conference online. I would much rather, greet people and say hello. But you can learn a lot online, and there's tremendous training offered. I'm going to tell you the first resource I have here is called Tyler.com. I have never met Tyler, but I love Tyler because he taught me how to use WordPress. And if you were not in my workshops earlier, I will tell you, he has videos how to build a website in WordPress, step by step, with no steps left out. I mean, watch what he does and then do it, and you'll have a website. And not only that, it's free. And he gives you free templates for using on your website. In fact, if you like the Kentucky site, and I hope you do, I built it using Tyler's templates. So Tyler.com, go and check it out, especially if you want to build a website or need to build a website. If you want to learn more about the writing profession, I do recommend Serious Writer Academy. I also have taken classes, and by the way, this is all personal. This is me to you. This is what I do. I hope it's helpful to you. And that doesn't mean I've got the only or the best, or I'm not giving any of those superlatives. I'm just telling you this worked for me. I've taken classes at the Christian Writers Institute, and I have really appreciated what they have taught me. So you can find great training online. But you can also find other tools online. There are certain websites that I tend to keep open on my browser all the time when I'm writing, because I know sooner or later I'm going to need that resource. One of them, the first one, is called Bible Hub. And a lot of people use Bible Gateway. I love Bible Gateway, and you can do lots of things there. I will tell you, the thing I like about Bible Hub is if I'm copying and pasting scripture from Bible Hub, it's a lot easier transition I have found into Word. So I usually do my writing in Word, and it's a very easy way of cut and paste from Bible Hub. The other thing about Bible Hub, if you're like me, there are certain verses you're like, I'm not sure what that means. I need somebody a whole lot smarter than me to try to understand that verse. Well, Bible Hub also has commentaries. And I know Bible Gateway also has commentaries, but I just wanted to let you know there's a great resource out there called Bible Hub. Another one, and I'm going to actually demonstrate this one for you, is dictionary.com. It just seems so simple, right? But what I'm going to show you something you may not know. Now, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I'm on dictionary.com here, right here. You can see that's where I am. And you can look up the definition of a word. Give me a word, Pam. I'm not putting you on the spot.
Hyperlink.
Okay, I tell you what, let's do different. Let's do braggadocious.
Sure, I like that one better.
I was a spelling champ. Okay, braggadocious. And I need my definition. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's slow. All right, it's an adjective, informal. It means boastful. Okay, but maybe braggadocious is too pretentious for your manuscript and you'd like a different word. So you could go back out on the internet and search for a thesaurus, but hello, there's a thesaurus right here. It's just another tab. Okay, so I just click on the thesaurus tab, and I will tell you, when I'm doing so much projection and everything, the internet connection is really slow. So we need somebody to hum the Jeopardy song here. There we go. It may be not going to work. Anyway, you can go to the thesaurus right here. I have to type it in again. And I have lightning fingers. Braggadocious. Let's find the synonyms. And it didn't like that spelling. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but you can use both the dictionary and the thesaurus on the same tab.
Nice.
And I tend to leave them open when I am working, because I'm almost always in the dictionary. All right, let's go back to my presentation. So that's dictionary.com and thesaurus.com, okay? How many of you have trouble with capitalization? Just raise your hand and give me a woohoo. Right? Don't know. I can't remember. Is that an adverb? Do you capitalize adverbs? What part of speech is that? Blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm going to show you another resource here called capitalizemytitle.com. And now earlier, you may say, Rhonda spends too much time on the internet. Well, I do. But here's all these. I hope you can see this. APA style. Most of the writing I found, people like, editors like Chicago style. So I'm going to click here on Chicago Manual of Style. Okay. And let's just say, the sun also rises. Do you capitalize also? I'm using no capitalization. guess what? The also is capitalized, all right? So if you're doing a title or a chapter title and you're like, oh, I can't remember the capitalization rules, who wants to mess around that with when you've got a story trying to, break out? I don't have the brain cells to spend the time trying to figure all that out.
Mhm.
So I found this wonderful tool, capitalizemytitle.com, and it's got APA, Chicago AP, MLA, New York Times, Wikipedia, and email.
Nice.
Oh, that's about. Okay, and of course there are ads all over this stuff. I'm going to say, it goes without saying, please be safe on the internet. Please know there are weird and dangerous people out there. Get good security on your computer, and don't play around clicking on a bunch of ads. You'll be sorry if you did that. But title capitalization, it's capitalizemytitle.com, and the link is right there in your handout. Now, I also really appreciate another website I'm going to show you. I write historical fiction, and there are some characters that are not normal English, right? And if you're writing something that has Greek characters, or you're writing a manuscript that needs French characters, and you need those little special symbols, you can use your character map to find them. Some symbols Word will let you use, but I have a resource here called alt-codes.net. I've also found I am much faster if I don't take my hands off the keyboard. The more time I spend with my hand on my mouse, the more I slow down. So you'll see here alt codes. Alt codes means you hit down, and now I'm on a window. If you're on a Mac, sorry, but I guess there's some kind of Mac command, okay? But alt codes, if I hold down my alt key, let's find a symbol that I might like to use. So here's the O with the two little dots. Do you see this O with the two little dots?
Yeah.
I see here an alt code is 0246. All right, I have a blank Word document I'm going to bring up here. I'm going to hold, and I made it big. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Hold down my alt key. What was the number?
0246.
Let go of the alt key. There she blows.
Wow.
Is that cool or not?
Nice.
Okay, now I can see some of these symbols over here that are a lot of fun. There's a musical note, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I could use this in email. This works on websites. I've even put some of these on my website. See this little music note here? It's Alt-13. So Alt-13. Oops. There's my music note.
That's awesome.
Now, hopefully you do not send manuscripts to editors with musical notes, right? But if you've got a Swedish character or something, it's got all these unusual image little things that you can make cool bullet points. There's a copyright symbol if you ever wanted to know how to put in the copyright symbol. So look at all these.
That's great.
They're just there. I love using alt codes. There is I use an M dash, and some people just type dash dash and keep going. I just learned a long time ago alt 02, let me see, 0150, and I can get a dash. Okay, so alt codes are just to help you with some of those special characters that you might want in your manuscript. So there you go. All right, back to my tools. More online tools. How many of you need some grammar help from time to time? Hang your head. Your fifth grade teacher is embarrassed. All right. So a lot of us need grammar. And sometimes I'm just stuck. I cannot remember the grammar to save my life. And my story wants out. I don't have time to sit down and figure it out. So I need good grammar tools. All right. Online, a lot of people love Grammarly. There is a browser extension. I have to say, I've never really used Grammarly much, but it's on my list because I know so many people like it. Okay. And I think there's a free version. I think there's also paid versions. And that's what a lot of these organizations online do. They'll offer you something free with a bunch of ads, but they will also offer a paid version, just trying to entice you. Maybe you'd like to see something more. So, but I tell you, I like Grammar Girl, and I put the link there because when I search for a grammar problem, like what part of speech is about. Okay. Almost always one of the top search engine terms is Grammar Girl. And I like her because she's funny. She's got a called Quick and Dirty Tips. I had to look up recently who versus whom. I went back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, who is right? No, maybe not. It's whom. No, and so or lay or lie, some of those kinds of things where you get in trouble. I love Grammar Girl. You can also subscribe to the Chicago Manual of Style. And I was in a workshop earlier today where they were saying, most editors want you to use CMOS, so the Chicago Manual of Style. Mm-hmm. Some of their stuff is free. You can access it sometimes through educational sites, but they also, $39 a year is not bad. If you really need some grammar and style help, mm-hmm. like, okay, does my end punctuation go inside or outside the closed quotation marks? That kind of thing. You can really find on the Chicago Manual of Style. And like I said, all of these links are there in your handout. I, though, want to demonstrate to you something I found that when I showed this to the gals on Writers Chat, they just went, ooh. Mm-hmm. So get ready to ooh.
Ooh. Should I unmute everyone?
No, it's called AutoCrit. And I know a lot of people haven't heard about this, but gang, I've had a lot of success in contests. And one of the reasons is because I never submit anything without sending it through AutoCrit, and I will show you why. See this button, upload new text? I have a Word document already open because I knew I was teaching a workshop. I'm going to take in this is part of an entry I put into a contest, okay? So I'm going to just copy it, Control-C, which if you don't know some of the shortcuts you need to. I'm going to upload some new text and clear my open text because I've already saved it. I'm going to click in this little window and right-click paste. And like I said, okay, there it is, and submit. Now, I'm showing footnotes, okay? But I want to show you just a little bit, and there are free and paid versions of AutoCrit. I'm going to run a summary report. And how many of you just could not wait to get your paper back from the teacher? Me, I could never wait. It only gave me an 87. See my score here? 87. I usually score a little higher than that because I have pretty good grammar. But let me tell you what this will do, especially if you write fiction and there's a place to tell it what genre you're writing. It will show me pacing and momentum. How well are my sentences varied? You don't want to write sentences all the same length. But look here, can you see that? This is giving me a bar graph of how varied my sentences are. It will talk to me about dialogue. Do you know you're not supposed to have adverbs in dialogue? She said quietly, right? You're not supposed to put those LYs. This will check with one button. It will going to check me if it found any adverbs in my dialogue. Guess what? It did not show any. That's good. Okay, it will show me all my dialogue tags. And if there's one I use too often, all right? And it shows me a few down there that I might want to look at. It talks to me about strong writing. It will tell me if I've got passive voice indicators. It will show me passages, how many of you need this, where there's showing or telling keys, cliches, redundancies, okay? If it was a silent quiet or something, if you have redundancies, it will show me unnecessary filler words. How many of you find yourself using just or that? I've got 5 instances of that. And then it gives me a score. It tells me that's good. Okay, that's good. That's average. But then if it's overused, it will tell me that I've used it too much. It will also show me repetition. How many of you have turned in something and you said, man, I did not, I used that word 6 times in that chapter, right? It shows me repeated words, repeated uncommon words, repeated phrases is where I almost always go. And believe me, folks, AutoCrit is paying me nothing.
Is this a free version, Rhonda?
Now I'm in the paid version, but the free version will also do this. It also tells me 2-word phrases, 3-word phrases. Here's a phrase frequency, I have found, I hate to admit this, 4 word phrases that were repeated. Here, and this is repeated, eye of the storm is repeated twice. If I click it on, and it's there because I was quoting a song, okay? So I don't feel quite so bad. But here's eye of the storm. Do you see? I just clicked it on. It shows me right where they are.
Wow.
I can make my edits inside the document and download it. But what I usually do is go back to my document on my computer and make the changes. So it gives me readability. It checks for grammar. This is an amazing tool. I will sing the praises of this.
How
And
much does it cost, if you don't mind the
now,
question?
I will tell you this. Get on their newsletter list. Let me see if I can get to their home. I really can't probably get there. But they have, I'm going to log out and go back to their login page. Because they have articles that they will send you in your inbox. They have a newsletter. They do interviews with famous writers. And once in a while, they do a fabulous thing. Now, see, here's their plans and pricing. I bought a lifetime membership for $150.
Wow.
Unlimited words. And to me, that was an investment. They've got a free forever plan that is free. Okay, you can join for free. Then they have this plan here, $30 a month, $297 a year. So can you say with me that $149, and they do this from time to time, for a lifetime unlimited membership was a deal. That was a
Wow.
steal.
Yeah.
And if you get onto their, they have writer's room, they have a blog, the business of writing, the craft of writing, the writer's soul, the heart of popular articles. This is their blog articles. Here's an article on active and passive voice with examples.
Great.
Okay, so I just highly recommend AutoCrit.
Yeah.
And that is my gift to you today for free.
That's awesome.
From my heart to yours. And you see now why my writer's chat buddies were going, ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good, and a lot of people have not heard of them. So more online tools. Folks, you need to use good images in your social media and on your website. Good images, no bad images, nothing pixelated, nothing stolen, okay? Lots of, you can't just go out onto Google and grab an image. That image may be licensed. And I told this nasty story that happened to a friend of mine. 5 years he's been tied up in court with somebody suing him over the use of an image that as soon as he heard about it, he took it down. 5 years later, he's still fighting them in court, okay?
Wow.
And images, some people are trolling. They want you to use their image, then you know there is a way to search images and find out where they're used, and he went after him. So get licensed photos. And I've given you several resources here for free images, free licensed images. Pixabay, a lot of people have heard of Pixabay, Pexels, and like I said, I'm going to go faster because these are in your handout. Unsplash is Brandon. You can get 4 meg images from Unsplash. I mean, those would plaster on a billboard at 4 megs. Okay. And the last one I'm actually going to demonstrate to you because I guarantee hardly anybody here has heard of Yo Priceville, right? Anybody here heard of Yo Priceville? No, you've never heard of him. Okay. Now, you may think I'm nuts. Go ahead and say it, Rhonda's nuts. But I found this one time, and look, it is covered in ads. I mean, just covered in ads. And do be careful where you click because you can end up in some really, dark alleys. But they have beautiful clip art. I'd just like you to look at some of this clip art. They have wallpapers. They have a whole section of national flags. So I'm like, okay, here, I'm going to click carefully on clip art images. And it brings me up with a gallery of images. And like I said, it's moving kind of slow because they want to load all of their ads first. But here's some of their clip art. Now, let's say that you want, oh, look, books. I'm just going to see what their PNG images, and all the images here are license free. I might like this book. Since I write historical romance, I click on it. There's the image. I don't know if you like that, but it's kind of funky. It's not real looking, it's clip art. Okay. And for some people, this works just right for their social media or for their brand. I can right click on it. I can save the image as, and then I've got that image on, and I have a big folder of clip art. All right. And maybe you're like, oh, Rhonda, I am not so interested in clip art, but there are other images on here that are not. Now you can also get a Buddha PNG if you want that. But I mean, let me go back one more here. You can also find wallpaper images here, and sometimes they're I like that dove. Some of their wallpaper backgrounds and wallpaper images can be very useful for other social media. And I guarantee you've never heard of this. I love them for holiday stuff. I tell you folks, if you do a Christmas newsletter, this is for free. This is not necessarily writing about anything, but look at their holiday stuff. You just got to see some of their holiday backgrounds. And I put this stuff on my newsletters. They have some of the cutest holiday clip art and so forth. So that's Yo Priceville. I'm a nut about artistic things, and I like them. It is slow as molasses because it is loading 10,000 ads while you're searching through their images, okay? So I do like Yo Priceville, and that's just a lot of fun. Now, I want to give you a few tips. Don't you love that? I found her on Pexels. Okay, so I want to give you some tips. You're like, Rhonda, how do you find all this stuff? Well, I'm a good internet searcher. And I tell you, you need to be pretty savvy at how to find things online. How did you find that? I know how to search. And I'll give you a couple tips. First of all, like I said, I write historical romance. I will confess, this is Rhonda's confession. I used the term "what a bootlicker" in my ACFW Genesis Confit, and one of the editors, who was a judge, she nailed me. That's an 18th century term, and I'm writing in 1588, right? And she knew that when she saw that. Now, not every reader would be that savvy. I have to ask, did anybody know that bootlicker was 18th century? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, okay? But for those of us that need to know etymology, etymology, you discover the origins of words and phrases. And when did this first appear? And so, especially for those of us who write historical, this is an important search term. I just type in the word etymology on my browser, and then I this is another hint, use quotation marks around specialized terms. So I wanted to use the word sommelier in my manuscript. I did etymology, sommelier. If it's a phrase, put it in quotation marks. I came up with the fact that didn't come around until the 18th century, okay? So if you have a special term, for example, you're learning WordPress and you cannot get your WordPress menu right. You go up on your browser and you say WordPress menu, and you put that in quotation marks. And what it does is it searches WordPress menu and not just WordPress or menu. If you search menu, you might come up with a restaurant, right? Okay, you might just come up with WordPress, but nothing specifically about how to make a WordPress menu. If you put quotation marks around WordPress menu, that's what comes up in your search terms. Some of you already knew that, and right now you're yawning and saying, why am I in this class? If you did not know that, that is a great tip, okay? So tips for searching online. Don't forget to check for videos. You know, there are different ways that people learn. Some people learn, they read something with their eyeballs. They can't read with their ears, but they read something and they understand. Some people have to see something, okay? You have to see it visually. Like a video is a lot better teacher than just reading something. Some people learn by watching someone else do. So don't forget, let your search engine take you to videos, because a lot of what I've learned that I needed to know, I learned by watching a good video. So we're going to stop here pretty soon. I'm going to take questions. I want you to know what newsletters come into my inbox, because I have found some fabulous newsletters, and their links are there. The Steve Lobby Agency blog is fabulous. I've never read a bad one. In fact, there are like 200 of them sitting right now in my inbox that I have not read, because I've been so busy with my book and my book proposal. But the Steve Lobby Agency blog, and just go to stevelobby.com, they are very particular that what is put up there is really helpful. I also subscribe to the Blue Ridge Mountains Christian Writers Conference blog. It is written by Edie Melson. And those of you that don't know Edie Melson, she is a star. She is just a star in the writing universe. And she's especially good about social media. But she curates the Blue Ridge Mountains blog, and it is fabulous. All over the place, topics on fiction and nonfiction, social media, marketing, just very wide, broad range of topics. I love their blog. I just started getting the ACFW blog for fiction writers. I really appreciate the things that they write and send out, and that is especially particularly for fiction. Besides blogs, in my box are newsletters. And some of the newsletters I get, they're different from a blog. They tend to be just written a little bit differently. A blog is usually a person's point of view from the heart. A newsletter is more like news and information. Okay, it's like reading a newsletter, reading a newspaper, sorry, instead of a magazine. Okay, so in my box, there's a link in here. Folks, if you are a Christian writer, you need to read the Publishers Weekly Religion book line. Okay, Publishers Weekly has several newsletters, and when you click that link, it's going to take you, I think, right to the religion one. Well, no, actually, it's going to go to all of their newsletters. I take several of their newsletters. You know why? When that comes in, 3 clicks, and I can tell you what Christian book sold the most this past week in my genre. You say, why do you need to know that? You need to know your competition. Mm-hmm. You need to know what publishers are buying. You need to know what is selling. So when you say, my writing, if you write spec fiction, is not unlike Jonathan Cahn. He's got 3 bestsellers in Christian books. It does Christian books, both fiction and nonfiction. Okay, and now the religion book line, it's not all Christian. Okay. There's New Age stuff, there's, Hindu stuff, there's all kinds of stuff. But it will tell you, from a secular point of view, what books are doing well in the Christian market. And knowing the market is something I didn't understand when I started out how important that is. But I need to know that the book I'm writing has a market. And I'm going to be asked in my book proposal, what's the market like for this book? Mm-hmm. Well, one of the ways you know is by gradually getting yourself acquainted with what books are doing well in the Christian market right now. And that's a good way to do it. I've already said I love the Serious Writer newsletter. It's written by a wonderful lady named Bethany Jett. Bethany is just a fountain of information in the Serious Writer newsletter. I also recommend Tracy Crump. She's my mentor. The very first Christian Writers Conference I went to, I attended, and Carlton Hughes has the same story. I went to her workshop on writing Chicken Soup for the Soul articles, came home, wrote one, sent it in, and I was in. And part of it was her tips. And one of the things I love about the Right Life newsletter, there's always a great article, but she sends out call outs. So-and-so is publishing a book and they're looking for this type of manuscript. If you don't know the market and you're really tired of looking at the Christian Writers Market Guide, subscribe to Tracy's newsletter, The Right Life. You will get great information pertaining to the writing craft, the writing career, writing marketing, but you will also receive those very valuable call-outs that have exactly what they're looking for and what the deadline is. And I really enjoy Tracy's The Right Life. And then I will somewhat selfishly recommend my own newsletter. I will tell you, I haven't written a newsletter for 6 months because God told me to
I'm a little busy.
finish my book. He did not manifest in my office, but it was almost that strong. Finish the book. Set some other things aside. So I did finish my book, and then it was write the proposal. So I've been really chasing that right now. So I haven't been as diligent as I need to be, but I do produce a newsletter called Writer's Life Hacks, and I'm always exploring, usually in, if you don't know by now, usually in some humorous way, just some little sidelight into the writing business, or some tip like the ones I'm giving you now that will help you in your writing career. So now I'm going to talk for a few minutes about what's on my computer. I'm going to wrap this up in 5 minutes so we have time for questions, okay? On my computer, programs I have downloaded or access on my computer. If you make videos, if you want to make your own book trailer, if you want to take a shot at that, I love Video Studio. Now I know everybody says, oh, use Premiere Pro or Windows Movie Maker. I love this program called Video Studio. It's not very expensive. I think right now they have an ad out for their ultimate premiere version ever, and it's $80. And to me, that's a steal, because I want to tell you how much you'll spend on a book trailer. Do you want to know? Start at $1,000 and up for a good, high-quality book trailer. And I guarantee you, I learned this program myself. It gives you a little line, and it says, on this, put the pictures, and on this line, put the titles, and on this line, put the music. And you mash them all together, and you move the bars around, and you can make a video. So if that is something you want to do, or if you are putting videos up on YouTube even, this is a great video editor, very intuitive, very user-friendly. And I really like Corel's Video Studio. For photo production, I have a new tool, and I'm so excited to tell you. The producers of BookBrush have made an offer to us Kentucky Christian writers. And right now, they do have a free version, but I'm going to show you what BookBrush does. But they also have a special offer. And in your handout, there is a link, discount code KCWC15, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase for your lifetime. Next year, when you re-up for a year, 15% off. The next year, 15% off. I love BookBrush. BookBrush is a graphics tool for writers. It's made especially for writers, and it's bookbrush.com. I'm just going to scroll down their homepage here. Would you love to make a beautiful cover image like that? They have a cover creator feature on BookBrush and tutorials how to use it, templates that you can upload if you, especially if you self-publish and you want to upload something to, what is it, Squarespace or some of those. You can make your own book cover on BookBrush. How many of you would love to have a beautiful image like this with your book cover? Upload, you have a book cover, upload your book cover and get an image like this where your book cover appears on a phone, a tablet, and in paperback. They have something called instant mockups, and that tool is there, instant mockups, where you can produce an image for social media. If you go to my Instagram account, you'll see a couple of these, where it's a book cover like flashed up onto a phone or up onto my tablet. And those I created with BookBrush. I just did, here's another commercial for Writers Chat. I just did, I'm not sure if the video's up yet, tutorial this past Tuesday. Don't ask me while I'm doing all this stuff on the same week as the conference, but on images and how to create images. And I demonstrated it using BookBrush. It makes beautiful social media images. If you log in, I will tell you, it gives you the instant. How many of you know, what are the pixel dimensions for Instagram? Anybody know right away? I do, but I'm a graphics girl, 1080 by 1080, it's a square. Okay. What are the images for a Facebook ad? What are the pixel dimensions? Well, instead of going out and searching all for it, those tools are built into BookBrush. So I can tell it what kind of image I want to create. I want to create an Instagram image. I want to create a Facebook ad image. I want to create a Twitter image. Okay, all of those dimensions are built in to BookBub. They have fabulous tutorials. I mean, you can't miss. They are so wonderful, and they're free. There is a free version you can go in and play around with. I will give you a warning though. Look at that image. Would you look at that image? That is just taken from this one book cover image, and bing, bang, boom. And you can put stamps on it. You can say available at Amazon. These are called stamps. You know, it is amazing what you can do. And you can go on there. I will give you fair warning. You get on there, you're going to want to buy a version. Okay. You're going to do one of the paid versions. It took me 30 seconds to decide I'm signing up for this. And you can tell I'm going kind of broke on stuff like this. But I highly recommend BookBrush. If you go right now to my Instagram feed, and if you do, follow me and I'll follow you back. If you go to my Instagram feed, you'll see the images. There's a dramatic difference when I started using BookBrush for my Instagram feed. And I tell you what, ladies and gents, I know Photoshop. In fact, I'm really good with Photoshop. And Photoshop, everybody, oh, Photoshop. BookBrush will do almost exactly the thing in a lot fewer clicks. Okay? So I love the folks, and tremendous technical support. They answer your emails really fast. They are just really wonderful. It's just getting off the ground. You'll be very glad if you sign up for BookBrush. All right, so that's my commercial there. Now, I'll tell you what's on my bookshelf, and then I'm going to take questions. These books, I just highly recommend. Of course, you must have the Christian Writers Market Guide. You know, that is on my bookshelf right over there. But I also have it in the electronic version, which, if you're like me, I have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. That is my hedge against going to the poorhouse, because I would just read. I would buy too many books. So I subscribed to Kindle Unlimited. It's free. It's one of the books that you can borrow on Kindle Unlimited. And I love it because I like the electronic search feature. You know, you can mess around with the paper version of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I find that I'm a lot faster searching it when it's electronic. The Christian Writer's Manual of Style. I can reach right over here. That's how close I keep this book. Okay, and I see I have not mirrored my image, so you cannot read the text. But this is invaluable. Do I want to know how to use certain words? When do you capitalize? And this is written for writers who are writing and submitting Christian manuscripts. When do you capitalize the word gospel? Want to know? It's right in here. I'm not going to tell you. You have to look it up. Okay, what do you do? How do you do abbreviations of books of the Bible? What other things I can think? How can you number the Psalms? Is there an alternate numbering that people use? It has things about plagiarism. Here's personal names. You know, if you were writing about John Calvin and you're talking about Calvinist doctrine, is it capitalized always? Yeah, Kelly is nodding her head. Yes, but it tells you that Calvinist, when you see that word, it's referring to John Calvin. Okay, so this is it is for Christian writers, and it will tell you style tips about how to format your manuscript, and that impresses editors. Oh, believe me, they care. And if they see that you have taken care, Kelly went to get hers. If they see that you care about following their style guidelines or accepted. See, some people, it isn't just their style guidelines. It's accepted. What is generally accepted in the Christian market, you can find that in the Christian Writer's Manual of Style. I recommend any book by Cecil Murphy.
Yes.
Anything the man wrote is golden. Okay.
Yes.
I've put a couple titles here. Unleash the Writer Within, Writer to Writer is a book that I have on my shelf by Cecil Murphy. He's fabulous. You just can't go wrong with anything by him. I also have a book called, and this was recommended to me by Kyle Young, a serious writer, called The Emotion Thesaurus. And do you know that you're supposed to show and not tell? So if your character in your book is feeling sad, okay, I'm going to see, I look up, here, he's feeling lonely, let's say. Here, this will give me the definition of loneliness. I think we all know what that is. But the physical signs. So if I'm writing an action beat, and I don't want to say, Josie was sad, right? That's passive, number one. That's telling, number two. I can say, Josie's shoulders slumped. Boy, say that 10 times fast at 8 o'clock in the evening. a lack of eye contact, false bravado, tears or sadness, even a heavy sigh, talking to herself. Okay? It tells me all of these things that a lonely person might do to show their loneliness rather than to just look at you and say, I'm lonely, right? Mm-hmm. It's called the emotion thesaurus. There's a series of about 6 of these by now. Mm-hmm. I do not write without this on my desk. Now, I write fiction, but I'm telling you, even in nonfiction, this can be useful when you're describing something that someone said or something someone did, okay? But especially for fiction writers, and it's by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi, okay? And you can find them online, and the Amazon link is there. I sit down at my desk, I put my mug of coffee onto my little trivet thing, and I grab my emotion thesaurus. Then I'm ready to write. Okay. And if you write children's book, I highly recommend the Children's Writers Word Book. And you have to have a bookshelf close, right? The Children's Writers Word Book tells me, and I bought this when I wrote a children's book. Don't ask me why, but I did. What grade level certain words are. You know, if I use the word cough, you want to take a guess? I'll put you on the spot, Pam, because you're the only one. What grade level is the word cough?
3rd grade.
I'll bail you out. 5th grade.
Okay.
Cough is a 5th grade word. Clay is a 1st grade word. Brownie is a 2nd grade word. So if you are writing for children, you really want to know what, and it gives you synonyms. So here is deform is a 4th grade word. Distort is 6th grade. Flaw, 6th grade. Warp, 4th grade. It gives me synonyms. If my Kelly and I are both well supplied, it gives me synonyms for words that I might want to use, especially if I'm writing children's. Okay, so that's the Children's Writers Word Book. Now, I think that is the end of my show.
Right.
So I'm going to stop my share and just try to stop me from talking. It doesn't usually happen. But
this has been awesome, Rhonda.
Good for you. Does anyone want to ask a question about any of those resources or anything that you want to comment on? You can put it in the chat. I can see the chat now. So.
I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone, so don't everyone go at once. But yeah, there was a lot of great dialogue in the chat, a lot of good questions that we should be able to save all the chat, right?
Yes. If you click right now, if you've got the chat window open, all of you that are watching, down in the bottom of the chat window on the right, there's 3 little dots.
Yeah, save chat.
If you click on that, it says save chat, and it will save it to a text file. In fact, I'm going to do that right now because I want to see what it is.
Well, and hey guys, this is Greg Bridgman. All of these sessions, the videos, will be posted on the classroom site where you got the Zoom link, and the videos will have closed captioning, and all of the full chat text will be saved there as well.
Great. I do see a question from Susan Pettit. Can you load your own photo in BookBrush? Yes, you can. You can upload any image from your computer to use and create social media images.
I do see a lot of questions about security, like if there's a security software that you recommend, you know, that's not too expensive.
I tell you, it all costs, and the more you pay, sometimes the more you get. I know a lot of people use Norton and McAfee and those things that come preloaded. My experience is if it comes preloaded for you, it's also preloaded for the hackers. And they have common ways around. I have a fellow who's in the internet security business, and he recommended to me something called WebRoot. I've used WebRoot security on my computer. I have never had a virus.
Definitely want to avoid, which is Kaspersky, which is a Russian antivirus software. So it is obviously built for Russia to hack your computer. So
Oh wow.
So you've got to do your homework, and Greg Bridgman is a good one to know all of this internet security stuff. But
what does Greg recommend?
What does Greg recommend?
So if you're using Windows, the Windows Defender program is actually pretty solid without any additional augmentation. If we're talking about your computer, if you're talking about your blog or website, it's really dependent on your ISP, your internet service provider. Um, I can personally vouch for Ionos. It used to be 1&1. They have really, really excellent security and backup. GoDaddy is also pretty good, but a lot of their stuff is offshore now. The wrong way offshore, not Pacific, not Atlantic. So Ionos has servers in like Europe, but the majority of their servers are in Pennsylvania. So I'd recommend just doing some research, doing some investigation, figuring out who you trust. The fact of the matter is nothing is bulletproof anymore.
Yeah, back up, back up, back up, back up. People,
Yep.
if you don't back up, you could really be crying one day.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
I think we're all tired.
No, this was so
It's
excellent,
been an
Rhonda.
amazing day, though.
Amazing.
An amazing day. We've got a beautiful day tomorrow that starts at 7:30 Eastern with the prayer class and another keynote to look forward to. Rhonda, I think you've taught 3 classes and hosted one, so I know you've been on your toes today.
I'm going to sleep good tonight, and right now I'm going to go get some ice cream. I'm breaking my diet. I'm telling you.
But we committee members and faculty are just so pleased that you guys would honor us with your presence here in this new venue. It's kind of experimental for us, and we were really working hard to make it a success. I really feel like it has been.
Yes.
And Greg Bridgman and his wife Hallie are 2 of the most humble servants you'll ever meet. But I want to tell you something. They have worked like Turks. I'm not sure that might be, profiling. But they have worked their fingers to the bone on the technology and invested time in making sure that this happens. And I've invested time, and so have other committee members.
Yes.
But I just want to be sure that you don't forget behind the scenes, there's a fabulous power couple, and that's Greg and Hallie Bridgman. They are amazing, and it's a real joy to work with them.
Amen. All right. We've got 3 minutes left. Any last minute questions? All right.
Somebody's got their.
Any other questions?
What about Canva?
I tried Canva, and I liked Canva, but as soon as I found BookBrush, Canva went right in the trash. I just found it a lot easier to use. And I don't know about anybody else. I have flute fingers. I have great big hands. So doing anything on my phone, it drives me nuts. I have big hands. And so Canva was better on the phone than on my desktop. BookBrush is wonderful on my desktop, and it's so much more versatile, and it's made for writers. It has the other tools. I've never seen templates on Canva that would let you upload your book cover and make amazing promotional images.
Wow.
So, like I said, I threw Canva over my shoulder and I went to BookBrush.
Great.
With BookBrush, are you able to do on-screen sketching, drawing, editing?
I have not seen a free-form drawing or sketching. They have filters that you can use, and you can work in layers like in Photoshop. But as far as free-form drawings, you would have to do that on your own photo editing program. But then you could upload what you've drawn onto BookBrush and make images.
Okay, thank you.
Good for you, Marcy. I would never, I would not put my little stick figures up there on. If you can draw, that's awesome.
All right. So are you teaching anything else tomorrow, Rhonda, or are you done?
I'm done teaching for today, but I have the tremendous honor of being the moderator for Hallie Bridgman's workshop on video marketing for authors.
Oh, yes.
I can't wait, because
Awesome.
I was going anyway, and now I get to go and talk. I mean, is there anything better?
Yeah.
We have a
Awesome.
really good lineup tomorrow, 7:30. We have the newbie class, but we also have the WRITE prayer class, and that's Sherilyn. I'm going to mess her
Bisbano.
name up.
Bisbano.
Thank you. I'm tired too. I apologize, folks. 8:30, we have our welcome introduction prayer announcements. Then at 9, we kick off with Turn Your Writing into a Business, Do-It-Yourself Audio with award-winning voice artist Gene Rowley. Maximizing Your Writer Voice by Lisa Carter, who taught the editing class today. Writers Are Warriors by Corinthia Phillips, The Ancient Art of Storytelling, What We Can Learn. Q&A about audiobooks, again, Mr. Rowley. Ask the Agent, Chip McGregor. That should be a good one. Finish out the afternoon with social media and its uses for authors, Building Your Tribe on Social Media, Video Marketing for Authors by Hallie, and The Publishing Contract by Chip McGregor, where he breaks down a publishing contract. Our final keynote, and then we'll have our faculty meeting. That's our day tomorrow. Woo!
Great. Hey, Greg, Sarah wants to know, is the newbie class tomorrow the same as the one this morning?
Yes.
I think it will be, yes, just with hopefully a different crowd of folks.
Okay. Rhonda, you were going to say something else?
That's what I was going to say. Greg said what I was going to say.
All right. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much. It was so excellent.
You're welcome.
So many great tools out there that we'd never heard of until now.
Oh, great. And I will say you can email me at info@dragomirgroup.com. I'll just type that real quick here in the chat.
Yep.
It's a brain thing, but I can't type and talk at the same time. So there you go. That's my email. If you want to reach me, I'd be happy to hear from anyone. If you've got a quick question that I can answer, I'll be happy to shoot you back an email.
Great. Thanks everyone so much for joining. You guys all have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye now.
Wonderful day.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Rhonda. Get some rest.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Bye.